Hi folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man at your services. Or is it Kilt-Axeman at your services? Hi ho, hi ho, hi ho, hi ho. It's off to chopping virgins we go. Hoo-ah! So, folks, how are you all? Hope you're doing very well. Yes, I was discussing axes. Just cast your mind back a couple of videos ago, and yes, I was discussing Jack Torrance's axe from The Shining, that fantastic fireman's axe, great big proper axe on one side and a pick on the other, and I intend to get one, for real, a real one. I do love that iconic axe, and I was discussing how, what happened to the genuine axe from the movie, and how I was searching, scouring to find that proper fireman's axe from the same sort of vintage, but for real, not a prop, not a foam rubber replica, although one of those might be arriving soon. Kilt-Man, you sold out. Yeah, I did. Well, after that video went out, a friend of mine from round here, who's also called Chris, he's a genuine Chris. I'm Chris Kilt-Man, but he's a genuine Chris. He said, he reached out to me, he said, in my garage, I have a long-handled axe, a big bastard. It's terrifying. I think it's just what you need. So, I went round, and we discovered said axe in the deepest, darkest, shadowy recesses of this cobweb garage. There it was. And here it is now. And no, it's not quite what I had in mind. But I couldn't just leave it there now, could I? I thought, it's a great big axe, a big badass axe that you don't want, and I'm in the market for big badass axes. So I went, okay, I'll have it. And it is here. And I shall describe it to you. This is not a prop, this is a real axe. And I'll tell you what, folks, it's kind of heavy as well. This is a proper man's axe. This is a woodman's axe. The woodcutter of yore. Now, of course, I know. The great big axe that fells trees is a great big, it's got that big, huge curved blade, and it is slightly different shape to that. It doesn't have this little hook on the end of it. But this axe in particular, this one, which is, I don't know, it's a few years old. I don't know quite how old it is. And the company that made it is Spear & Jackson. I have torn off the little label which was on the side there, Spear & Jackson. They've been going for quite some time. In fact, they've been going for over 100 years, I think, in various, various variations. And you can't get more varied than that now, can you? And they do a lot of, obviously outdoor equipment and household, tools and utensils. And this is quite a staggeringly good piece of kit, to be honest with you. So you've got your tree felling axe, right? And then you have what's called your sledge axe or your maul. It's got a lot of different names as well. And it derives sledge axe from this booth, that sledgehammer on that side of it. And what that does, because your tree felling axe is not actually good for chopping wood, you may be able to go across the grain of a tree to fell that tree. Chop, 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 timber, boom, down it comes. But when it comes to chopping actual logs and making them, good size, just chop, boosh, gone. Chop, boosh, gone. That's the routine that you do. And it's this that you need. Now, that's good American hickory wood, right? It even says so. Don't know if you can see that there. Ooh. Can you see there? It's hickory. Hickory dickory dock. The hickory is a very, very good strong wood, and it kind of gives a bit. It's flexible, and but it lives and breathes in your hands. Now the thing about this as well, when you first get one of these things, if you're going to be using it for real, not just like posing around like a tosser like me, or a chopper like me, you should soak it in water, so that the hickory, when you get these new, you might, the first time you come to use it, the head can come off because it's not totally affixed to the hickory. So when you soak it in water overnight, the hickory will expand, the wood will expand, and it'll fill, and it will then dry out, and you've got a nice seal there, so it stays nice and tight. That's what happens there. Now this, as I say, that is 6.5 pounds. That's not a lot. I do weights all the time. That is not heavy at all. And yet, swing this around as I was doing earlier today. And sadly, I would have shown you this outside, but typically, yet again, the weather has completely come down. We've had rain, hail, sleet. You know, we're going to have snow before long, before the night is out. I know it, I just know it. But it was horrendous, and so obviously couldn't do much. I mean, you don't want to slip on like a slick sheet of sleet, you know, with this sort of thing, because that, folks, is actually very sharp. That is a real good cutting edge. Because what you do with that, when you bring that down with that 6.5 pound weight, with the sledgehammer effect on it, because the momentum, that weight and that swing and that length, which is 31.5 inches, that stave is, when that comes down, and you can do it in a couple of ways. You know, you can do it, I mean, I can't really, you know, go through it here, it looks silly, plus I don't want to like hack up the kitchen floor. You can do it two-handed, like that, so you come down and the weight of it comes down, boom, into the log, and then you're into it. You might have chopped through if you're lucky. If you haven't, that little hook on there, that little hook there, helps you pick it up again and then drive it down, and then that log has been split in two. Or you do the big Arnie, completely, it won't fit on the frame here, but over the head like that. And hopefully you split the wood, the log in two with the first blow. And of course you can do that, of course. There's actually many competitions, you know, log splitting and all that kind of thing. You know, if you're a lumberjack and you're okay. But it is a wonderful piece of kit, it is. I'm trying to think what movies that particular kind of blade axe has been in. And there must be loads. I was saying in that Shining axe video, you know, I think I mentioned a couple of films where axes has been prevalent in. But once again, I should have got a little list together, you know, but I can't, you know, my mind's gone blank again. So folks, please do comment below and let me know your favourite axe maniac scene in a movie. And there is loads. I'm pretty certain I can see the sequence, I just can't see who the characters are or remember what the film is. That axe gets rammed. It's big, it's heavy, it's long, and dangerous. A bit like myself. It's been rammed into someone's chest, and I don't mean in The Shining. I don't mean poor Scatman Crothers as Dick Halloran, who has The Shining, who travels thousands of miles from Miami, you know, to the Overlook Hotel to try and save the family and save Danny and his mother from the madcap zany, you know, over the top axe wielding Jack Torrance, Jack Nicholson, you know, and he gets there, and the minute he arrives, Jack Nicholson puts that into his chest. But that is the different axe, as I've been saying. The axe that I really want, the fireman's axe, with the pick on one side and the great big proper wood chopping, tree felling blade on the other side. That's what I want. It's not this. But there is a film where something like this is rammed into the chest, and there's a struggle to get it out. And I'm saying that they actually drag the body along with that embedded in the chest. And I can't for the life of me think what it is. I know, like in Return of the Living Dead, when one of the cadavers in the, you know, the body part depository comes to life, and you know it's bright yellow, runs around in the nude chasing them, and they put a pickaxe through its head, but it's still alive. But is it a pickaxe or is it a fireman's axe with the pick on the other side? Can't quite remember now. But axes are in so many movies, so there's a little challenge for you folks. List up your favourite axe moments in movies, and there's got to be hundreds. I just, seriously, I am bereft of where all these moments are, because I've forgotten them all, but there's so many, that's what it is. When I'm playing Evil Dead 2, there is axes aplenty in Evil Dead 2, but they're not like that one. But that is a great axe, and it has that, you know, as I say, this little hook down here, this little hook thing, and that is primarily, well, it's also part of the shape of it. It lends momentum and a kind of downward aerodynamic to it as well. But also when that's hooked in, as I said before, if it hasn't split the wood completely on the first blow, you can then pick it up because it'll hook that wood up. You pick it up and you slam it down again, and the noise it makes as well on that second split is wonderful. If you split it on the first blow, that's great, and you feel, whoa, I've achieved something there. But it makes a better noise on the second split, I think. You actually hear the wood, because what this does, this follows the grain of the log. A tree felling axe will not do that. That's built to go in, you know, horizontally and on a slight angle, either up or down, to chop and chop and chop against the grain, whereas that is to go down the grain. So all this, you know, there's mechanics and science behind the the development of these things. Listen to me, the science behind an axe. But there is, you know, guys have engineered these things for the exact specific purpose for which they are intended. And so yeah, Chris said, I've got one for you. Come round and have a look at this. And in a great kind of weird moment, you know, his garage door went up, like, and because of social distancing and all this, you're not really meant to be around, are you, like someone else's? So we kept distanced and all this, because there's people over the road who live over the road from him. And he said, I'll go and get a couple of bags. I said, I can't walk home with that over my shoulder, you know, like one of the dwarfs, you know, after Snow White. I can't walk that back home. Here's a couple of bags to put over it. I said, oh yeah, don't worry, I'll go and get some bags. So off he went to go and get a couple of plastic bags and some, you know, elastic bands to wrap round. But he was gone for a while. So he left me in the garage. The door was open, and there's an entire street there. And I was like, just whoa, yeah. And I was swinging this around, oh, hey, whoo, boosh, boosh, reenacting moments of pure bloody mayhem. And then I realised, oh shit, everyone can see me. They don't know who I am. I'm just a weird guy in a kilt with a great big axe in someone else's property, you know. But anyway, here's what it is. So, folks, I have got another axe on the way, and I'll be honest with you, I did stump up for one of the replica ones, the little foam rubber ones, because I've got this itch I'm still trying to scratch, this shining itch. I do want to do some reenactments, and it's just a, you know, a bit of fun, not the shining, but the kilting, you know, and just try and have a little bit of fun with that. But you kind of need the axe to make it worthwhile. And, you know, if I'm going to be swinging it around, maybe it's probably for the best to have something that's not going to hurt anyone. This, however, will hurt. That, as I say, is sharp. As you can see, it's a little bit, it's rusted. That can be cleaned up, no problem. That's still sharp. It could be sharpened still. And even though that's only £6.5, but that momentum, that downward swing, Jesus, the amount of power and velocity and kinetic energy which you're unleashing is unbelievable. Now, I walk back, I would say, half a mile with this over my shoulder in the plastic bags like that. And I was like, hi, oh, genuinely was. And I've got to be honest, you know, my shoulder was a little bit sore when I got home. So, you know, there's me saying, yeah, it's only £6.5. Well, weirdly enough, that £6.5 actually seems to weigh a hell of a lot. If you're lifting a dumbbell, you can like, that's a baby weight. That's nothing. What's that going to do? But with that, coupled with, you know, the weight of the hickory stave, you know, I don't know what the total would come to, but you're hefting it around, and there's a definite way to do it, you know, to bring this down, swing it around. There's an art to it, and you do need a fair bit of strength to do it justice. You can't just pick up one of these and just swing it around and heft it. You can't. You're going to have a bit of exercise and a bit of strength in your upper body, in your shoulders and your arms to make this work. It's just the way it is. You know, it's all well and good expecting that to do all the work for you, but if you can't heft it above your head in the first place, it ain't gonna do nothing. So, folks, I did say I was gonna carry on with this axe thing, and I have done. There you go. And incidentally, I was saying about the hardware stores round by us, and I went round there to try and find the long-handled, half-pick, half-axe, fireman's axe. And I did go round, and on the Sunday when they were closed, I went round when they were open. Oh, you can't get them now. Only online. You can't get that sort of thing now from any hardware store. Nowhere will stock that. But just go online. Well, you can go online, yeah, and they're kind of pricey. They are. So anyway, don't worry. I'll sort it. I will sort it. You know. But in the meantime, there you go. That actually looks bloodstained. That is just rust. Trust me, that is just rust on that. But in this light, that looks like that has gone through somebody, doesn't it? Looks pretty good actually in this light. So, folks, if you've got an axe to grind, let me know. Or if you've got a top 10 favourite axe moments in movies, please let me know as well. Because my memory has really gone terrible when it comes to this. But I should have sat back and compiled the top 10 and really thought about it. But hey, you know, I'll let you guys do some legwork for once. You guys let me know. But there you go. That is a sledge axe, a maul, it's often called as well. Power derives from that sledge there, ramming down. Of course, you could use it as a sledge, although, you know, I don't know if you really, like a fence post, you know, you could obviously use that quite effectively, but its main purpose is to save that being driven down with momentum and that kinetic energy. So, the Kilt-Man speaketh, and the axeman cometh. Folks, I have been, and always will be, Kilt-Man. You guys, please keep it kilted, keep it Celtic, and just be yourselves. And I'm going to see you all later. And I've got some more shining things to show you in a wee bit.